Hey, I'm Srini, host and founder of the Unmistakable Creative Podcast and the creator of Maximize Your Output with Mem. And in this video, what I'm going to show you how to do is how to use Mem's Smart Write and Edit tool to outline a comprehensive blog post with links to your notes and topics underneath a bunch of headers with bullets and give you this really thorough outline for any blog post that you might want to write. And if you haven't checked it out, be sure to check out our free guide to building a second brain in Mem. I'll include a link in the description below. Now, let's get to the tutorial.
What I want to do in this video is I'm going to go over how you can use Mem Smart Write and Edit to outline and write your blog post. And of course, the first step in doing that is generating and capturing ideas. The easiest way to do that, of course, is by capturing them directly just by creating a new mem. If you just go here to new or press Command N, it'll create a new mem. And the nice thing about mem is that you can capture ideas as they occur to you and then develop them when you're ready because they'll always show up when you need them to. Another thing that I like to do is to send myself text messages. So for example, when I'm in the car and I'm listening to a podcast and it sparks an idea for something, I'll just ask Siri to send a text message to Mem with a potential title of that note. And then third is using Mem Spotlight. If you keep Mem open throughout the day, which I pretty much do all day long, no matter where you are on the web, you can just call up Mem Spotlight with the Mem Spotlight keyboard shortcut and just capture a note. The thing that I'd also encourage you to do is not to worry if an idea is fully formed or if it sounds half baked. Just give it a title because ideas take time to bake anyways. And chances are that once you capture it, it will actually start to gestate in your mind. You can think of this as sort of an incubation period in which the ideas form. But personally, I think the most effective way to generate ideas for new content is by taking smart notes. So let me show you an example of what I mean by that. So what you'll see here is a literature note from a book called Your Brain on Art. And you can see here that I wrote this and then I ended up writing a bidirectional link in here about the power of being playful. And this ended up being an idea for a blog post. You can see I had to just jot down some thoughts here, nothing too big or anything else. But the fact is that because of the fact that I took this note, I was able to create ideas for new notes. And smart notes are great like this because of the fact that one phrase inside of an existing note can end up becoming a blog post in and of itself. So this is the real power of being able to make connections between your ideas and connect new notes to existing notes and using bidirectional linking. As I mentioned before, even though I didn't know I was going to write this blog post at any time, I still don't know when I'm going to write it. While I was writing this note, I just created a bidirectional link within it. And this is one thing I encourage people to do with bidirectional links is to embed them into the sentences of existing notes. And that's why the way that you title these notes is so important, because the better your titles are, the easier it is to embed them into sentences in other notes. The next thing that you want to do is to tag the blog post ideas or create a collection. So right here, you can see I have a collection called UC blog post idea, UC blog and blog post idea. So the first tag, UC blog, basically tells me what the context is, and blog post idea tells me what the status of that blog post is. And then when, for example, it's ready to be proofread or when it's published, I change this from blog post idea to UC blog published. And that way you can group all of your various ideas together. And you can see I have a lot of different blog post ideas here in this collection. There are just a ton of them. Many of them are undeveloped. You can see here, there's really nothing in this note. And this is something that I talked about before in a previous video about the value of empty mems. A lot of people get worried that there is a problem when they create an empty mem, but inside of mem, that's actually a benefit. It expands your knowledge base. I have a lot of notes where they're connected to hundreds of other notes, and often there's nothing in the note that's connected to hundreds of other notes. So now that you have pre-steps of getting ready to write a blog post, let's actually work on creating an outline for a blog post. You can see here that I have a prompt already written. And one of the things that's really important with your Smart Write and Edit prompts is that they need to be specific, they need to provide context, and they need to be clear. The more well-written your prompt is, the better the outline is going to end up being, or any output that you get from Smart Write and Edit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy this prompt here. And then I'm going to pull up this other note, which is a blog post idea for why negative emotions are useful. And again, what you'll see here is that this was actually based on an idea that came from a book that I was reading. Again, you're seeing this pattern of a literature note leading to a bidirectional link that then becomes a blog post idea. And sometimes this might just be one note and there might be nothing in it. It might not be a blog post idea. I've often had small notes that eventually turn into blog post ideas, or they end up getting used in blog post ideas. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and paste this command into Smart Write and Edit, and let Smart Write and Edit generate the outline for us. And let's go ahead and we're going to remove keyword for the topic and change this to negative emotions. And then I'm also going to change the topic to negative emotions here. And now we're going to let Smart Write and Edit go to work on creating this outline for us. And so now you can see that Smart Write and Edit has given us a pretty comprehensive outline for this blog post in under a minute. Sometimes it doesn't actually put in the headers, which is a little annoying, but you can just go ahead and convert these all to H2 tags. And then we have a comprehensive outline for this blog post. The other thing you'll notice is that it brought in relevant books and quotes, as well as additional tags. Now, this is the place where your mileage might vary, but the good thing is because of the fact that you have similar mems, you can actually use the notes from there and add them here as well. And you can see where else it's mentioned. So that is basically how you use Smart Write and Edit to create a comprehensive outline for writing a blog post. And you can use this process for creating ebooks and other types of content as well. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below.